Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Meet the Coach of the Coaching Tools Company. I'm Erwin de Graaf, CEO of the Coaching Tools Company. I'm here together with the Director of Coaching of the Coaching Tools Company, Dr. Steve Jeffs. Hello, Steve.
Hi,
Welcome.
Erwin. Great to be with you again.
Yes, and today for the Meet the Coach, we're meeting Venecia Chavez. Welcome, Venecia. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. Thank you so much. I am doing wonderful today and truly ecstatic about this opportunity.
It's our pleasure. So, we could try to introduce you, but we believe that you're the person who knows yourself better than we do. So, who's Venetia? How did you get into coaching? What kind of coaching do you do?
Yes, thank you for that invite, Steve. Yes, was it Steve? I don't know if I got the names right. So anyway, let me just dive right into your question. My name is Venecia Chavez. I'm actually a New Mexico native from a very small town, Silver City, New Mexico. Came to Colorado in '94, actually embarking on my accounting aspirations. I have a 30-year tenured career in financial accounting, business administration. Throughout the course of my career, 17 years of those were primarily in multifamily, single family. The other were a mix, and then primarily in construction. Throughout the course of my career, I absolutely loved focusing on those details for organizations. As life navigated me throughout relationships and different career opportunities, I found myself in a very challenging, almost fatal situation. And so that really put a different perspective into my energy. And so now I've taken and I'm turning my financial aspects of my education and using those to pour into my life coaching, which I now am channeling 90% of my energy into life coaching because I believe in really helping people navigate life, hardships, fears, anxiety, addiction, things of that nature. And so over the course of the last 3 years, maybe even a little bit longer, I lost my father to suicide. And like I said, I had a situation where even my life was personally challenged. I was given 14 days to live. And so now I like to advocate very heavily for life coaching, especially from the sense of reframing the mindset, because it is very important to thrive in life despite those awful things that some of us sometimes have to endure. And so that's where a lot of my energy comes from. And where I love coaching is in focusing in those mindset areas, those limiting beliefs that people tend to really hold on to with a tight grip, that make them feel that they can't achieve or that they cannot overcome. And that is not true. We set limits on ourselves, and that's where the limit truly ends up existing. It's not what anybody tells us. It's not what resources aren't available. It's truly within the mind to overcome that. And then the resources are there. There's hundreds of resources out there that are available to people everywhere, public libraries, coaches with me that have a dynamic in their programs that bring clients on in a very affordable way. And so that's a part of my myself as a business and educated individual. Outside of that, I love to cook, clean, spend time with my dogs. I thrive in kite flying and discovering new music. So that's pretty much Venecia in a nutshell.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. There's a lot in that. Um,
There is. I
ah,
actually just wrote a book recently, and I'm in the early stages of those publishing efforts. So a lot going on my end.
wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Getting to discussions around publishing with a book is a great milestone. in itself. That's fantastic. Kite flying. I don't hear that a lot. Tell us a bit more about kite flying.
I think it's something that I just turn to for a little bit of I love the aspect. Like I even made some notes about what it does for me. Like it gives freedom of time. Like you don't have to have an organized plan for it. You don't have to have excessive resources. You don't have to nothing about it has to be perfect. In fact, the less perfect it is, probably the better the outing is going to be, right? And so I just seek out. I'm a butterfly collector, so I'm always seeking out butterfly kites. There is a very dedicated kite store here in Denver, Colorado, within the suburbs, that has extraordinary kites. And so there's double-fisted kites, there's single-handed kites. And so I just love the freedom, just being out there with nature and its lack of or its unnecessary need for perfection. It's just like, let's just go for it. Run this way, run that way, catch the wind however you can. And so it's just zero structure. And I think that's, I throw in some headphones and I get some music going. And I think that's really what just surrounds the energy about it that I get so involved in that I will lose track of time if I'm out there for too long. I watch the weather ahead of time. If it's about 6 to 7 miles per hour, it's perfect.
Oh. Have you been doing that a long time or just like lately?
Actually, all my life, yeah. I think even when we first moved to Colorado, it was something that we did a lot more frequently. My son's 32 now, so he doesn't necessarily want to get out and fly a kite with mom. So it's just something I end up doing on my own. I have yet to find a good partner. I did have one for a little while, but I don't know. That season has now ended, but it was always a little bit of a competitive thing because he had a double-fisted kite, which I think is really hard to maneuver, and so I just did the single-handed kite. So to me, that's the one I like.
Hmm. Great. Going back to your coaching, your life coaching, and certainly with your financial accounting experience, do you combine that financial accounting in your coaching, or it's something that you said that's you're not touching this anymore?
So I keep the accounting alive in two ways. If you're interested in that profession, then of course it's going to come very second nature to me. I've honestly already helped some other individuals in that arena to identify where they need to polish up or improve some weaknesses. In terms of butterfly bliss coaching and another area or goal of mine that I'm focused on is Egg for Life. And so I'm pouring in my accounting expertise in those to develop my own organizational binders. All of the investor relation documents. And so pioneer documents, everything from A to Z, it has really afforded me the ability to be able to do it with on my own and not have to outsource all of that. All of those tasks because they are pretty involved. And I have read closing binders for organizations when I was working for Mercy Housing. It was one of my favorite places to work at. Mercy Housing is found across the United States, and they focus primarily on multifamily, single family living for the disabled, elderly, the less fortunate. It's also a nonprofit organization, so I gained a great deal of knowledge working for them for so long because I was in their development accounting team, and the exposure to what I needed to incorporate into my organizations now is almost just right at my fingertips. It's very second nature to me. And so in that aspect, and I don't think I'll ever let accounting go by the wayside. I think it's my first true passion. I'm a math junkie, and so it was my first favorite subject in school, and I think it always will be. So I think accounting will be around for me, until I take that last breath.
I love it. There's something I see a lot of coaches forget. And, we transition often from a more traditional career into the entrepreneurial world of coaching, where we get to co-create and emerge as a little bit more freedom. There's something really cool when people create the space, find the way to honor the before and the after. And it's a little bit more holistic, I think. It's not actually a before and an after. It's a phase one, phase two that
Yeah, it's
builds.
like a collision of energy, and it just makes it that much more powerful and paramount in future goals and setting and aspirations.
It makes you unique as well if you combine those different energies.
Hmm.
Mm.
Absolutely. Who are the clients you love to work with most?
So I don't really have a specified niche at the moment. I have been working a lot on uh back office type work. I've had several clients, and they've all been different. And so it's been uh unique for me. What stands out in a unique sense amongst them all is the fact that we believe what we tell ourselves. A lot of times that's where it's at, is moving past that, those limiting beliefs, making that impact, and those eye openers that people are so prone to. You think you don't want to tell people something because you think, oh, they already know that. They probably don't. It's worth saying it because it's something that uh it's something that holds me back in my coaching. I'm thinking like, oh, well, they're already this far along in their business. They probably already know this part. But that's where, as coaches, we have to be a little more involved in the relationship to say those things, despite if they know or not. Now you know whether they know or not, but to help move them to that next level. So overall, in terms of just the clients themselves, I love just getting involved from the get-go, learning what their challenge is, and then like jumping in a car with them and saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And the techniques that I have polished upon within my Ache for Life structure are powerful. These people, I can talk to somebody for 5 minutes. And I do part-time work at Costco, and people are like, oh, yeah, wow, I never thought about it that way. And I'll give you an example. A guy who was very discouraged because his account was negative $400 because of his car payment. And I said, well, I guess you can look at it as a negative, but I'm going to give you a positive to it. You have to pay an overdraft fee. You got lucky that your bank paid the merchant, and you're not losing your car. And so, of course, the first thing that he was looking at was, oh my gosh, my account's negative. It's 2 days until payday. What am I going to do? And so it's perspective. It's oftentimes realigning that perspective to steer away from the negative aspect. And sometimes that negative aspect is part of what you created for yourself.
Absolutely. I keep coming back to the kite flying, because there's something that you said with the wind, and kite flying is something that most of us don't pay attention to.
Mm-mm.
I know that I don't really look at the wind that way and that it's always there. And there's something about what you're saying that as coaches, we get to help people. The phrase I put was to obviously know, like to become aware of what we're aware of. Yeah, maybe they knew that, maybe they know that, but if it's just outside of their vision, knowing it is no longer enough. And there's something about working with our clients to broaden that vision, broaden that awareness that I'm hearing in what you're speaking.
And sometimes it's even sometimes just enough to validate their thought. Oftentimes people think that success has to be, a BMW and a Harley Davidson or whatever it is that monetary success looks like. No, no, no. That's not success at all. You can be successful at having pity parties every Friday night. There's success in that because you're doing it repetitiously and you're getting pretty darn good at those pity parties. So success has nothing to do with wealth and greatness. Success can even be your thought going from your head onto your paper, from your paper into your goals, from your goals into fruition. And so I think that misconception that that makes it that when we get reserved, we say, oh well, they may already know. No, say it, get it out, be done with it. You don't know what sort of energy is pouring into you. I'm a very faith-filled coach, and so I say if something's laying on my heart, then I'm probably going to share it with you because there may be a very um, uh, valid reason that I'm feeling that way, and maybe it's something that you said. Maybe I'm drawing off of your energy. But yeah, for me, the kite flying, it's also peaceful. It's simple. I mean, I think we as humans, we overcomplicate life beyond what it needs to be. We overcomplicate our circumstances. And with this Egg for Life model that I'm really focused on as part of my coaching, as part of a trademark and as a signature for my specific coaching, is to really navigate challenges. I mean, I don't care if I mean, there for a while, I couldn't even decide. Somebody asked me, do you want Pepsi or Coke? Um, Um, oh my, like, why does that question have to be so challenging? It doesn't. We digest the question, and then our interpretation has to be something that's that all of a sudden takes on this pathway of like, oh my gosh, I can't even make challenges. I mean, make decisions. And so I even went through those frustrations. So it's the minute you learn the Egg for Life model, you understand it in its very short capacity or its very brief capacity of what it's um, designed to do, boy, your decision making becomes sharper. Oh, I'll take a Pepsi. Why? Uh, I had a Coke last week. I don't know. You just dial in to the end factor a lot faster because what we neglect to realize is that our time we're dying every second. These moments are slowly becoming history. They just move so slow that we don't take enough involvement to say, oh, what I'm saying matters. A lot of time people are just letting things flow. They have no filter. And that Egg for Life, that ache model really becomes that filter that says, do I even need to be involved? Do I even need to say anything? Do I even need to um, explain myself? It sets a safe, what is that? The Mendoza line that gives a marker for certain things. This Egg for Life, almost in its own unique way, sets a very quick reference. Okay, I need to run down this model, run down these questions, and then I can keep on with my life. Because oftentimes I think we want to get involved with other people's lives to a degree that isn't even necessary. We try and lift burdens and carry loads for people that shouldn't even pertain to our own journey, right? They need to learn their lesson. They just need to be equipped with the right mindset and the right technique to reframe their circumstance, their next move. And so, yeah, that's kind of, I forget where we started on with that. See,
That's
I told you I
that's
would do
perfect.
that.
Absolutely. I love your passion. It's one of the things that we love about interviewing coaches like you is we get to see what excites you about the work that we're doing. Um,
Mhm.
you mentioned this Ache for Life. Tell us a little bit about that. It sounds really interesting.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes, I would love to. And so Egg for Life is so this is my business organization binder. I have been putting it all together over the course of the last several months. I'm at now my pioneering stages to seek out a board of directors, people who will be pioneers, um, people who will be volunteers. I actually have reassigned the name volunteer to a volunteer. And those are for people of faith, people who believe in God, and people who wish to volunteer. And in this day and age, I feel that a lot of people steer away from traditional volunteering or tithing because it's a little there's the value has been sucked out of it. The value has been sucked out of it. So I put a twist to my volunteers, and they're called volunteers. So that means that your time counts as much to me as your money does. So if you say, "Hey V, I can only give you 4 hours," that I'm ecstatic because to me, time is worth more than money. Of course, do I need resources? Yes, but those resources tend to replenish themselves in faithful ways as far as what I'm doing. So the Egg for Life is mastering your awareness, your involvement, and your knowledge. So it can be as simple as I try and paint a picture for somebody that's very straightforward. So I'll give you an example. When I was dealing with my dog yesterday and he's about ready to break through the fence and get into the other neighbors, how can I ache in that moment? So I become aware. My awareness is the most immediate thing because clarity begins with that awareness. So you observe the situation, you recognize your emotions. If you're getting stressed out, if you're getting anxious, you need to bring those under control. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to um, properly navigate the situation, the circumstance, the heartache, whatever it is. You could be in a wreck. I mean, in almost any sort of situation, I shouldn't say a wreck. Let me take that back because that's pretty intense. But in most, even if you're at work and I've applied this model to people everywhere. I talk to people on a daily basis and I'm introducing this mindset to them. So once you become aware, you recognize those, you spot opportunities to shift that mental focus. Then your next step is I, which ache is AIK as opposed to ache in the heartache. The acronym for ache is, I'll show you here, there's my water bottle, ache for life. And so ache, so the A is your awareness, the I is your involvement. So now with my dog, what should my involvement be? Should I be involved? And so this can happen with conversations. If you're talking to somebody or you're witnessing a fight, should you be involved? Should you go step in and try to mediate the situation? I mean, almost in any circumstance can you take this model and apply it to it. I know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be redundant on that. But going back, so how did I get involved with the dog situation? I stepped in with purpose. Okay, I didn't just go get rocks and start throwing them at him, um, mindlessly and rambunctiously as he was, because I'm not going to gain control over the situation. I need to somehow collaborate and get his attention so that he can mind me so that I can get control of him. So that steps right into my knowledge. Okay, how do I educate myself? How do I diffuse the situation? And what do I need to know about the dog on the other side of the fence that's provoking him? What do I need to do in order to gain control of the situation? So just by having ached in that very general sort of situation, I was able to gain control of the situation. I made impactful decisions and I came to a resolution probably faster than if I would have gotten frustrated, started kicking the dog, started screaming, started crying, calling my son, want to give the dog away, get pissed off, throw him in the car, go take him to the pound, all of those things, all of those emotions that are now flared into uh, a decision that you may regret. When you use the 8 for Life model, you think very purposefully. And so that's my baby here, which I am praying and very optimistic about the fact that this is going to be a mental health center, its first center to open here in Aurora, Colorado.
Fantastic. Congratulations and good luck with that.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
love the model that you spoke to. It's aligned with emotional intelligence and a lot of other things that are out there. There's a real simplicity. As you said, it's like, oh, I'm aching in the situation. Well, that's a mnemonic that reminds me to pay attention. And one of the things when I was scuba diving, we had the saying of stop, breathe, and think. And as you were talking around that awareness piece, it's like, that's what we're doing. We got to connect to ourselves, become aware of us, what's happening here, and then we can look there. And then when we step to involvement, it's informed. It's not just going straight in, jumping before we know what's going on. So I love where you're pointing, and I can definitely see how that is both simple and profound in its application and impact.
It does.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Well, it gives focus, and it certainly is very helpful for people that are very impulsive to be able to say, "Oh, I need to." So, how's the situation, and how do I need to? What's the best way to address the situation?
And I know I see a lot of it even on our streets. I do a lot of uh, street walking where I just talk to random people on a daily basis and just find out what's going on in their life. I step into random businesses, ask people what their first big win was and how they got going. And so I think here for us, I don't know if it's, I'm starting to conduct more research now in this period I did in 2023, but now I'm getting ready to reassess those statistics. But in our neck of the woods, people just seem so irritable, so frustrated. They're short fused. People seem tired and reluctant to want to collaborate. Around here, you find very few people want to make eye contact. And I think that we have just made an energy that is undefined. And it's the fact that we've overcomplicated things. We have 10 million decisions to make for a sandwich shop or a laundry soap, or our decision making has become so intense. And I think a lot of that is just now it's just all one big cluster of complication that the world, or at least here in the United States, it feels like everybody is just frustrated. I feel frustration from every person that I speak to in this in this country. And so for me, I want to get out more. I want to really speak in a very wide or a very large with a very large audience to try and capture minds, because this pity party thing seems to be a constant. This I need it right now, this instant gratification. It just it doesn't stop. It's just our wheels have become so small. They're not like our pioneers where things took months and days and years to develop. No, people want it done overnight, and that's thanks to Amazon Prime.
Absolutely. I had to laugh as you were talking about decisions because it was Mother's Day here recently, and I took my daughter for a walk. We went to go get some flowers from mum, and I asked my daughter. So we went into the first shop to have a look. We went to the next shop, and I asked her which ones do we want, and she wouldn't make a decision. She couldn't. Like she was stuck choosing between the things, and um, so we got the flowers from the shop that we were at. But as we we're walking back, we got to discuss, and through the discussion, she realized, well, actually the decisions she was trying to make didn't matter. This flower or that flower. The decision that mattered was actually, let's get flowers for mum. And she
Right.
kind of lost awareness of the importance of what was going on and was overwhelmed with present but irrelevant details that had distracted her from what was important. And
Yeah.
I hear that a lot in the articulation that you're having, that there's so many details, there's so much going on that it's overwhelming carrying these things, and we never stop to go, well, actually, what's important, what's being asked of me here?
Mm-hmm.
And that's such an empowering mindset to play from, to influence ourselves and the world around us. You remind us of some really important things.
I want to ask you a quick question about what you said. And I think a lot of people listening would be really interesting to know. So you say you talk to people on the street that you don't know. You go into shops. For a lot of people, that would be like difficult. So what is your process, or what tips could you give to people that say, oh, I need to go to a shop and I need to talk to people, and how do you do it?
So I start with the mindset of what I'm about to embark on. So why am I even going to be out there? So again, here, I'll use the Ache for Life model. What's my awareness? Why am I going out today? Oh, well, actually, I want to connect with people to find out how they're dealing with life. That's going to be the first focus of why I'm getting out there. Oh, okay. So what's going to be here in part of my involvement? What do I need to be aware of? I'm going to deal with rejection. People are going to slam their door at me. People might laugh at me. People might ignore me. But some people are going to get involved with me, and some people are going to talk with me. So then I have become aware of what I'm about to go out and do. I have become involved because I know what risks and consequences I'm about to deal with. And knowledge, I need to know what I'm talking about. So, am I out there with valid techniques, with proven stories from my own clients? And I do have several. One that's pretty moving for me because this is an individual who came from Mexico and fighting a lot of limiting beliefs. She's a woman. She's stepping into developing an asbestos organization. And I'll tell you, she was very much on the verge of giving up. I talked to her, I coached her through it. Her organization is called Pink Lion Environmental LLC. She has organized her business. She's developing her own binder. She's ordered her vests for her people. She's out there running her own crew on asbestos removal. And it just ignites something within me to know that I was able to help somebody navigate very close and very fine line of I'm going to give up. Because one of the things that I've learned throughout my time and throughout one of my Bible studies was the man that puts his hand to the plow and looks back is not fit for the kingdom of God. So what does that phrase tell you? If you get ready to achieve, or you get ready to set your hands to the plow, you're not over here running like a mad person. If you think of a person that's plowing a field, no, he's going in very dedicated forward momentum till he's got to turn and go and turn and go. And so you almost have to just take and say, because what's he going to face? Potholes, bad dirt. I don't know. I don't know what all comes with it. But in the same way, when you're going to get out there and connect with the community, just put on your ache jacket. Be fully prepared to deal with those people that are like, lady, you come over here telling me what to do. Like I've had that. People who drop the F-bomb and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? This is your behavior is a reflection of yourself. It has nothing to do with me. So a reminder of that as well, that your response to their behavior says what you're out there doing. And at the end of the day, you want that reflection to have been solid. So if somebody says, you know what, lady, go fly a kite, I can actually say I will. No.
Oh, I'm off. Great idea. Come with me. I love that so much.
I'm gonna do that. Great idea. You want to come with me?
That's brilliant. Hey, for people that are listening and following this, that want to connect, that want to follow or learn more, how can people reach out and connect with you?
So they're either going to visit Facebook and search for Ache for Life, AIK for Life, or they're going to search Butterfly Bliss Coaching. And through either one of those pages, you're going to easily be able to find my own personal page, Venecia Chavez. Our direct number is 720-767-3462. And our email is ibaching@gmail.com. And so I would love to connect with anybody who feels like they need to take and rechannel their energy because they are doing a lot of self-damage, especially mentally and emotionally, where we're prone to get stuck. And give me the opportunity to really help navigate the challenges that you're experiencing.
Fantastic. Well, we'll put some links below so people that are watching can find that. Thank you very much. This has been engaging, and I love that. Go fly a kite. Ooh,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Venecia. And let's speak soon. Thank you.
Thank you.